Hi, my name is Sister Elissa, and I am a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And I've been a member about 4 years now. I was baptized a member of the church in March of 2016 and have been an active member of my ward ever since. I knew that God loved me. When I was a young girl, I was raised Seventh-day Adventist. And so I went to a lot of church service with my grandmother. I went to vacation Bible school classes, and I always loved the Bible. And so one summer after we had put tabs in our Bible and we had studied and we'd spend wonderful activities with the kids, and it was just a really pure time in my life where I felt God's love without question. And so I remember that at the end of one of these vacation Bible school things that we all wrote a message to the Lord on that. And I basically wrote that I wanted to serve God, and I wanted to be able to, my favorite song was When the Saints Come Marching into Heaven. And I can't remember the exact name of the song, but I wanted to be one of those saints marching into heaven. So I put that in my Bible, and then I grew older, and I got to be a teenager, and I got to be a young adult, and I started questioning the things of God. And I questioned whether God existed, whether He loved me. I tried many different faiths. I went ahead and, searched the internet for lots of different information on spiritual matters. And so when I came across this one spiritual matter in my life, I didn't really have the answer, who in the church would have it, which spiritual, religion would I go to receive this answer? And since I was raised a Christian, I decided I was going to pray to God, because it was really only an answer if Christianity was true and if God was true that He would have the answer for. And so I went to a church I was at that time. It was a church based out of Australia. And I prayed. I prayed with all my heart and all my mind and all my strength. And I prayed, and I had tears streaming down my face. And I needed to know some answers to the questions that I had. And so I went home, and I didn't really think that He was going to answer me. So a few weeks went by, and I was able to ask a really pointed question: is this the life You have for me? The path that I was going to go down, had I not received any answers, would have been a lot different than the life that I have now in the church. And so at that point, when I received the answers to come to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, then I knew that He loved me. And not only was my mind open to the church, but my mind was open to every time that He ever showed His love to me, every time that He ever believed in me, every time that He ever supported and helped me. It was the most beautiful thing, and I realized that even though I doubted His love, He never stopped loving me.
Okay. Say anything to the person watching this, what would you say?
If I was to say anything to the person watching this, I would say that no question is unimportant to God. And that if you ask with a sincere heart and you're ready to receive the answer, that He will reach out to you and He will answer that question. And I know that He will testify of the truth of His answers through the Spirit of God, and that you will know without a doubt in your heart and your mind that the Lord lives and that He loves you.
Why did you want to be baptized?
Well, I wanted to be baptized because I knew that this was a church that the Lord wanted me at, and so I was baptized. I was more than willing to. The Lord helped me in a way that nobody else could. He answered my prayers, and not only did He answer them, but He answered them consistent with what I understood in the gospel, what I understood and read in the Bible, that about about Satan, about God, about Jesus Christ. All those things were testified of me when he sent me to this church. And so I knew the answer was from him. And I also knew that I could trust him and that this was the right place for me. And so when I learned that it was one of the ordinances that needed to be done, I was like, that's what I will do. It wasn't easy for me, but but my family went ahead and agreed to come down and participate, even though they're non-members. I have been baptized twice before. And so learning about the church a little bit later, I learned a little bit more about why it's important to be baptized in this church. And it has to do with the authority given by the Lord, just the same authority that he gave Jesus Christ and John the Baptist and Adam.
When did you first hear about the church, and what did you think about it?
When I first heard about the church, I think was when I was younger. And so I've heard about it a little bit from friends and family. And so a lot of it was just opinions or rumors about the church, but I never really investigated for myself to learn what the church believed. And so it wasn't until I had a spiritual question that I started to wonder some things. And so I asked friends and family. And so they didn't have a really good answer for me, not one that matched what I had learned and read in the Bible. And so I decided I was going to pray about it because it was just on my mind quite a bit, and I needed an answer. I needed an answer to move forward with my life, and I received an answer in prayer to join the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And so I didn't quite even know how to walk in the front door. The buildings even seemed formidable. They weren't the typical church building that I was used to, and I didn't know any members. I didn't go to church, and so I had a friend that called a bishop near him in Washington State, and then they called my bishop here in Arizona, and I was able to have missionaries come out to my house and teach me. And because I had received that spiritual message from Heavenly Father directly, I knew that the church was where I needed to be. So I kind of embraced everything with an open heart and an open mind, and that's kind of what you would need to do in order to, really think about the gospel.